This is Mike Gable coming to you from the True Lacrosse headquarters for the highly anticipated Illinois High School preseason rankings. This past year, with the absence of spring lacrosse, a lot of kids haven't played in a high school game in the last 2 years. So we're super excited to kick the season off. You're going to see a lot of familiar faces from the teams that are ranked in the top 10, and that's because they've got some historic winning experience and reputation out on the field. Again, this year's top 10, you can debate it, you can call it a controversy, but this is what we got for this upcoming year. Back in the #1 spot is going to be New Trier. Again, as returning champions the last couple years, until they lose, they got to stay at #1. I know in years past I put them in the #2 spot, and they've always proved me wrong. So again, whether it's the coaching, the tradition, the players, the system that they're playing under, they're always have a winning culture. Okay, some of the things that we kind of look at when we take a look at New Trier is not always that #1 star, that Division I recruit. It's always going to be that role player, that third defenseman, that third attackman that actually make the biggest difference. And this team has them. They're deep. The kids have been playing together for a very long time, and they're poised to stay at that #1 spot year in and year out. Coming at the #2 spot is going to be the Loyola Ramblers. Many people believe that this is one of the most talented teams they've had in a long time. Well, this is a great opportunity for these guys to prove it and get themselves a championship this coming year. Typically, Loyola plays an 18-game schedule where they're traveling all over the country, getting ready for the postseason, and with COVID, that's most likely not going to happen. Nobody likes seeing all that maroon and gold coming off the bus, getting ready to play against them, and this team is ready to win a championship this upcoming year. Coming in at #3 is the Lake Forest Scouts. This is a team that has an all-in mentality this year. I've talked to some of the seniors. These guys have been getting together in small groups all during last summer and are just so excited for this upcoming year to start. They've got some studs on offense, they've got some studs on defense, and they're ready to knock off some of the top dogs ahead of them. Coming at the #4 spot is going to be St. Viator. They might have missed their opportunity this past year with graduating their senior class and not playing due to COVID, where they had one of the best teams they've ever had in years past. But this year, again, they just restock. They've got kids at all positions on attack, midfield, defense, and most importantly, they've got one of the top goalies in the state. That's why Viator is ranked at #4. Coming at the #5 spot is going to be York. York has built themselves as a top defensive and goaltending team year in, year out, returning some awesome players. This year, they bring in some offensive firepower that's going to lead to a lot more success and help carry them on throughout the postseason. Coming at the #6 spot is going to be St. Rita. This is a team that comes to us from the south side that's taken their punishment from Loyola over the years, and they're ready for payback. They've got some very strong offensive players that can put the ball in the back of the net, and they're going to be an exciting team to watch this upcoming year. In the #7 spot this year is going to be Neumann Valley. This has traditionally been a team that we've always seen go a long way out of the western suburbs. All right, no different this upcoming year. They reap the benefit of all the lacrosse that's played in the Naperville area, and they've got some seniors and juniors that are going to make a big impact on this upcoming year. Coming in at at the number 8 spot is going to be Glenbard North. This is a team that surprises a lot of people in the postseason. A couple of years ago, they knocked off St. Viator and Lake Forest using their zone defense and long possession offense. I give them a lot of respect. They're the only team that typically focuses on this in the state of Illinois, and other teams should probably take notice of it and possibly adapt it. But Glenbard North, you got to give them credit. They're always going far in the postseason. Coming in at the number 9 spot is Wheaton Academy. This is a team that a lot of people need to take notice of because they continue to bring in some awesome players. I know that this coming year, they have a lot of guys that should be on the varsity team that actually haven't even played in a high school lacrosse game. These players can develop some early confidence in the season that should help carry them far in the playoffs. Coming at the number 10 spot is going to be Warren. 2 years ago, Warren played in the championship game, and they actually returned some of the guys that were on that historic team. They know what it feels like to be there, and they want to get back there again. Some of the teams that just missed the top 10 ranking, starting off, is going to be Glenbard West. Glenbard West has always been a team that's made it to the Final Four ever since IHSA started sanctioning the state playoffs. Unfortunately, this coming year, they don't bring back a lot of offensive firepower, and that's why they didn't make the cut. Next team on the list is going to be Naperville North. Naperville North actually does have a ton of offensive firepower this year and some guys that can put the ball in the back of the net. The big question mark is going to be on defense and in goal. Evanston is another team that we always like to see and usually upsets a lot of teams during the upcoming season. Evanston typically plays one of the toughest schedules, playing regularly against New Trier, Glenbard North, and some of the other northern schools, and make it difficult for them to get a good seeding going into the playoffs. Grays Lake North is another team from way up north that usually has some awesome offensive firepower. The one question mark is, can they disperse the ball and not just rely on their top level players this upcoming year? The last team that I want to take note of is going to be Huntley High School. Huntley is a team that is a non-traditional hotbed, but a lot of their players have been playing box in the offseason, and we should see a lot of two-man game that might be tough for a lot of teams to defend against them. Good luck to all the teams that are going to be playing this upcoming year. If your team wasn't ranked in the top 10 or wasn't mentioned, this is your opportunity to prove me wrong.